Hey Canada, David Wowtrucks here. I've got a super cool individual with me today, and you're going to see some super cool trucks in just a little bit. Some of you know Andy Willerton, and that's the gentleman that's currently just in Winnipeg sitting in his office. Hey Andy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
Most of you know him as the Kenworth Guy. And now we've got one gentleman in the calendar next year. His name is Boomer Thompson. And I said, Boomer, is that like your real name? Because my kids, I'm not a boomer, but they always tease me that I should be. And so they call me like Boomer. And he says, no, my name's Dwayne. But my grandma called me Boomer. And so it's kind of stuck. Do people call you the Kenworth Guy instead of your real name?
I get the Kenworth Guy. I get KG, which is Kenworth Guy for short, of course.
Yeah.
Mr. Kenworth. Yeah. So I get a couple of different variations of it, but Andy or hey, or like people walking in our showroom sometimes, and hey, you're the Kenworth Guy. Yeah, yep, that's me. I'm Andy. You can call me that too. But yeah, I get a couple of different variations.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's funny.
Andy, as I've gotten to know you over the last little while and just heard
Yeah,
about you from other people, appreciate who you are.
thank you.
Tell us about the Kenworth Guy, what you do. The cool thing about your love for customized Kenworth trucks is you're in a job where you can do something about it. So why don't you tell people about who you are, what you do, and how the Kenworth Guy came about?
Sure. Well, I'll try and keep it as brief as I can, but I started selling trucks at Custom Truck Sales, selling Kenworth trucks here in 2005. So this coming January will be my 16th year working here. But I worked at this dealership even before that. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, my dad was working at Kenworth, and I was the lot man. So I would go around in the summertime when I was off work, and I would push the broom around the whole parking lot. I would sweep the whole service line up, bloodied hands and blisters. I would
Wow.
pick garbage and do all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I've been around Kenworth trucks my whole life. Before that, my dad drove trucks, so I've been in and around trucks my whole life. So I started here in my early 20s, and like I say, almost 16 years. And as you get into a job and you kind of continue on the same thing, everything kind of becomes stale or very similar. You got to reinvent yourself and change things. And so I went through a few different changes of how I wanted to do my sales job, and the last one was the Kenworth Guy, and that was about a year, 2.5 years ago, I think, is when I kind of started it. And my wife and I were sitting in our basement at our house, and I was looking at YouTube and looking at all these different social media platforms of seeing what other sales guys are doing, and I kind of saw an opening for a position that wasn't really advertised.
Yep.
And why don't we do something? What do we call it? Andy Kenworth? No, Kenworth Andy. No. And then my wife said the Kenworth Guy. I'm like, yes, the Kenworth Guy. I really like that. And I'm like, that's a great thing, because what's great, honey? I told my wife, when I go to see customers and I'm in their shop and their phone rings, they answer the call and they go, hey, this is Bill speaking, or whoever. And, oh yeah, no, I'm just talking with the Kenworth Guy here. I was a Kenworth salesman, but I was the Kenworth Guy long before I was the Kenworth Guy.
Yes.
So it felt really neat to put that name together, and it fit. And so that's kind of how the name started. But I was doing pictures and stuff before that, and I really started going into YouTube and getting a little bit more cinematic with my videography, which I have to say I've gotten a little bit better from when I started. So,
Yes.
but it's fun. It's a little bit of a hobby that I get to do, and it helps me sell trucks and helps get my name out there a little bit. So.
And what I like about watching your videos is that, you can tell when a YouTube channel is about sales. But yours is just authentic. There's obviously a passion for what you do, and just a love to see people loving their ride.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at a couple of your rides here just a second. But the YouTube channel, I'll probably put it on the video down below. But
Sure.
what's the handle? They just look for the Kenworth Guy on
If
YouTube.
if you typed in the Kenworth Guy, Andy the Kenworth Guy, or Kenworth on YouTube, I'll pop up on there. But the handle, the actual handle is the Kenworth Guy.
Okay,
So
cool. I love
yeah,
it. So let's look at some of your customizations, and I think we're
sure.
going to start with. I'm going to use my goggles and put them on so that I can see. Here we go. Let's talk about Incel for a second. So here,
Impel.
or
Impel.
Impel. Thank you.
Yes. So
I'll leave my goggles on.
So interesting backstory with Impel. Neil Ham is the owner of that company, and we go back pretty much to my start at Kenworth here. He bought a couple of used T800s from me long time ago. And anyways, as we've kind of grown in had a friendship, we've had a lot of good conversations and lunches and whatnot together. But we got a chance to build this truck. This is the second truck that they actually built as a twin to the first one, and I really like this picture, and I really enjoyed this photo shoot, video shoot. It was kind of my first out of the city, kind of with the intent to go and do a major photo shoot.
Yep.
So I left on a Saturday morning, went out and did this and got a bunch of really cool shots, cool angles. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun putting that video together. And as far as the build goes, a lot of the customizations they did themselves, but just the way that this truck went from what I delivered and how they finished it off, it just pops. Like the
You just want to
visor.
celebrate it, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. Like the custom exhaust that they modified, and I've learned a lot from them in terms of how to collaborate with what they've done into some of my builds that I'm doing now.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's awesome. Yeah, you learn
yeah,
from each other.
yeah, we learn, and every new truck, every truck that I build, I pick up something new. Oh, I should do this on the next one, and that's what's so fun about this job is I love making cool trucks, and my customers get to drive them, but I get to kind of tweak and improve on the next one and get better and make suggestions, or it's kind of fun to learn and grow a little bit.
So what year is this truck?
That one would be a 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a 2019 W900L. It is a 72-inch aero cab flat top. It's got a 500 efficiency series Cummins 18 manual and regular 40 rear ends. That's all off the top of my head.
You know your stuff. Congrats.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
But you are the Kenworth guy, so we expect it from you.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, no, I like it. Okay. And you know what? I mean, as we've got to, that I worked at Shell for 15 years, and we just marketed into the transport sector. And I learned that for transport guys, much like farmers, kind of the two sectors where it's not just what you do, it's who you are.
Yes.
And their truck is an expression of who they are. And that's why I love celebrating not only good trucks in the calendar, but good people. And I think you've got that same bent, and this certainly is beautiful. So let's choose another one here.
Sure.
We've got Dr. Hook. Actually, I have done a photo shoot in Winnipeg down at the market with Dr. Hook in the past. And so let's just bring this baby up.
Really?
And talk about that.
Okay, so this is a really interesting build for me. Start to finish, start to me being at the factory with Eric and Russell from Dr. Hook, seeing the truck at the factory was about 2 years. So from the initial idea of building this truck, sitting down in Dr. Hook's office, and the concept to the finished product, it was about a 2-year process. So lots of back and forth, lots of revisions. And actually, I have the up there. I don't know if you want to, if that would record, but the picture that's up there is a 2008 that I sold, which is again a 5-axle truck again.
Okay.
So this is a newer version of it, bigger rotator, but this was, at the time when this came out of the factory, it was the biggest tow truck in North America.
Cool.
So kind of a neat feat to it. And it wasn't the biggest for very long, because it's always people building and bigger and better, bigger and better.
Yes.
But it was just a really in-depth, complex design. I had to design that truck so that that body just slides right onto the frame without any sort of modifications or minimal modifications to be done, because doing those modifications after the fact costs a lot of money. So, and that was one of the most expensive trucks, or it is the most expensive truck I've ever built. So,
okay.
Just shy of $1 million.
But it obviously has a purpose and a value to Dr. Hook and the people that put it together.
Oh, for sure. And you know, it's toured around, gone to a lot of the truck shows that I've been at. So it's kind of neat to see, you know, I'm bringing my new trucks to truck shows, and a lot of customers like Jade Transport, they're at the truck shows, and
Yes.
Dennis Durand and all these other guys. And then there's Dr. Hook with their giant rotator there. So it's a really cool feature truck that I've sold and been a part of, in the Roscoe family that owns Dr. Hook. We go back a long ways, and I've been selling to them for all of my career here. So my dad before me, my dad used to sell to Nick over at Dr. Hook for his career too. So it's
your second generation.
Yep, that's right. We have a pretty tight family connection there. Actually, it's funny. I'll just digress. Not talking trucks, but in Winnipeg there is a floodway that goes around the city, and a lot of people would go ATVing and in the floodway and off-roading in their pickup trucks and whatnot. Well, when I was in high school, when I was 17 years old, I had a 1983 two-door hatchback Dodge Colt. And I thought that it was a 4x4, or I thought it was like this giant Dr. Hook tow truck. And I buried that thing up to the bottom of the floorboards in mud and slop. It was just terrible. Well, Dr. Hook had to come and rescue us out of there, and my dad had to wake me up at like 2:30 in the morning, because we left the car. We walked away. I went home. I went to bed. I'm like, whatever, we'll get it in the morning. Well, the police phoned my dad, said there's your vehicle registered in the floodway. Cars get vandalized. You better come and get it. So my dad woke me up, and we called Dr. Hook, and they yanked it out of there. So
nice.
So I was using Hook back before I was even selling to them. So
you were a customer before they were a client.
There you go. That's right.
And I can relate to that, and I'll digress for 10 seconds, is that one of my visits out to Winnipeg with Larry at J Transport, we went out of, I forget whose home it was, but it backed onto the floodway. And so he pulled out his sleds. So it was wintertime, not summertime, and we went sledding in the floodway for about an hour, and then we pulled up at this restaurant that was one of his favorite eat places, had dinner, hopped on our sleds, went back, and it was just a super cool evening.
Nice. Well, that's the floodway. It comes into everybody's life somehow.
So we'll stop the floods, and it's snowing here in Calgary today, and we're going to go to the last truck I want you to talk about, and it's a beaut, as are your photos of it, and it's also, and I'm going to thank you in advance. Some of Andy's photographs are going to be featured in the 2021 Wowtrucks Calendar, but let's talk about Jamie Grant. And here's one of the photos of his truck, and he's going to be celebrated in the 2021 calendar. So
this is, and I've said it in the video that I did on YouTube on this truck. This is my new favorite truck that I've ever sold. There's quite a few things that go into what makes a truck my favorite. Customization and relationship with customer and stuff like that, and then the finished product of it as well. So this truck kind of accumulates all of my experience in taking photos and building trucks.
Oh,
And I don't know. I don't want to boast or whatever, but like it shows. And I think anyways, that I think this picture, it blows me away that I took the picture. I'm like, I can't believe I got that.
that's awesome.
As far as the truck itself, what makes it is my favorite is the amount of customizations that we've done to the truck. Jamie and we started texting via Instagram Messenger about 2 years ago. Pardon me. So about 2 years ago, we started messaging on Instagram, and I just went back and forth. And it was on the Kenworth Guy when it was kind of early in the growing phase where it was starting to take off a little bit. And I was sending him different trucks, and we went back and forth for a good year before we decided to make the order. And this truck was about 9 months to get in. What made it a long lead time was the 3-color paint. So that's one reason for it being a favorite is the custom paint. It's got the Comanche paint design, the cream with the silver pinstripe around the design, and then the purple on the outside. Kind of hard to tell in the picture. It's just the shadows. But so the way it came from the factory, he customized the interior. He went, and you can't see it in the pictures here, but the interior had the Diamond Studio interior with the Diamond VIT interior with this Seattle package. So the additional trim pieces inside, and then on the exterior of the truck, we worked a lot with Shift products on all of the chrome trim pieces. He ordered some stuff on his own, but shifted a lot of customizations for us too. So, and just the finished product. And it's a W9, which is my favorite truck, obviously. And so there's a lot of things that kind of go into that truck being my favorite. And it's a real hard decision between this particular picture and another picture of this truck for my favorite picture. So I have that picture that's on the screen in my office behind me now, and there's another picture that I have that's out in the showroom that of the same truck. So it's
and that's going to be the one featured in the calendar. So thank you
okay.
for providing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll leave it in suspense for now for
For
people to
sure.
take a look at it. They can look at the preview of the calendar, but it's just amazing photography, Andy.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, it's cool.
I enjoy doing it, and when I did this photo shoot, I left my house with my 8-year-old son, and we just came into Kenworth. We grabbed the truck and went for a drive, and we stopped at four or 5 different locations, and took a whole bunch of pictures. And at this picture, I ended up getting it about 10 minutes before the sunset.
Yes.
So I call that the magic hour. Like there's a certain time of day when you're going to get the best lighting for pictures, and
It's the hour
timing
before sunset. Yeah.
Yeah, the magic hour. So so there it is, and there's the finished result of what the magic hour can produce.
That's awesome. And a
Yeah.
beautiful truck that's been produced as well.
Yeah, so that's there we have it. So there's a few of my my features that I'm proud of, anyways.
And you should be. So
Thanks.
thank you for sharing those with Canada and everyone that's watching in the States and various places.
Yeah.
So as they look at your YouTube channel, how many videos are there? How many videos have you done?
I haven't counted how many videos, but I've been doing one every week. Sometimes I'll drop an extra one for almost over 2 years. And I had some videos that I did like 5 or 6 years ago with like no intent of being a channel of anything. It was just my own personal web page, my
Yep.
own personal YouTube account. just to share a video of a truck with a customer instead of just sending them 5 pictures. But I had a lot of views. It's funny, when I decided to start the YouTube channel, I had like 300 subscribers, and I wasn't even doing anything on it. I'm like, what? This is weird. I'm like, maybe I should. And it was the one video I did had like 100,000 views on it. I'm like, this is insane. I could do something with this. So, but yeah, I think I'm probably sitting at around close to 150 videos on there. Some of them take anywhere from 2 hours to 10 hours to put together.
Wow.
Like I think the video that I did for Jay Palachuk, who I think
Yeah.
his video I think was about a 10-hour shoot and edit. Like it was a big video to put together, but just because I want it to be perfect, I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, that you take care about what you do.
Yeah.
So if from coming straight from the source, since I have you, if people were to only pick 3 videos that they watched first, any recommendations on your favorites?
I would probably say the Jamie Grant video.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm gonna have a lot of angry customers if I don't pick theirs.
I'm putting you on the spot. Okay, yeah. I won't do that. Jamie's gonna. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you a couple. Well, first of all, watch them all. All of my videos and all of my trucks that I sell, they're like my kids. I don't have a favorite. Like I love them all equally, yes. Right? Maybe I have some that are favorites more than others at certain times. But anyways, some other videos you got to watch. I think the Jay Palachuk video, just because the history of what Jay is all about and how long he's been in the industry, the amount of work he puts into his truck, and the amount of work I put into the video to try and put something that's really good out there.
Yeah.
So that's a good video. The EBD trucks, a lot of the trucks I've done with him, there's some pretty cool ones in there as well.
Danilchuk, yes.
Yes, the Danilchuk, Ryan and Bruce over there at EBD. So there's some cool ones. Impel, I have some pretty cool ones coming down the road here. There's another big tow truck. I wonder who that's for. That I'll be getting a video on once the truck's built and done. So it's coming soon. Soon.
I love it. So I have to ask you, because I've always said this to people. I mean, I live in Calgary. That's where I'm based. You're based in Winnipeg. Yeah. Winnipeg has an unusually high concentration of premier looking, take care of your ride fleets.
Yep.
Why do you think that is? Why is Winnipeg such a hot spot for just very cool iron, whether it's EBD or Jade or all, Mark Brandt? I mean, you name it. You got just, I mean, you're a larger city in Canada, but for the population, the number of sweet fleets you have is amazing.
Yeah. Well, Winnipeg being in the center of Canada, and Toronto, if you're watching, sorry, you're not the center. It's Winnipeg. Anyways, a central location, logistically speaking, like you have the biggest trucking company in Canada, Bison Transport, right here in Manitoba. You got some other big ones, like you got Transex and some of the just giant fleets out here, because you got the north-south route and then you got the east-west route. So if you're coming up from the south and you got to go through Toronto, a lot of times you're going through Winnipeg. So it's a big hub for a lot of people, and the farming community, hauling grain. It's just like a hub city, so there's lots of trucking going on in here. So when you have a lot of trucking, you're going to have your general people that make the economy go, and then you're going to have some people that put a little bit more pride in their fleet and that want to show off a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
That's cool. Yeah, if there was a trucking hall of fame, I'd be nominating Winnipeg to be the city that it was in, because there's just
Oh,
so much great iron. Not that there isn't across the country. I
sure.
mean, both you and I celebrate stuff across from sea to sea, but
Yes.
man, Winnipeg's got its fair share of that, and that's cool. I was expecting you to say because they love off-roading in the flood ditch, but
Yeah, right.
your answer was better than that. So
Okay. There you go. I don't know. It's the truth though. That's kind of the boring answer. We're logistically in the center and it just makes sense. But you know, we just have a lot of cool people here too that just know how to build trucks, how to order trucks. And you know, I take credit for what I do, but a lot of the stuff that I've built for customers, it is their choice, their design, and just my willingness to work with them and make their dream a reality helps them put their dream truck together, you know.
cool.
But it's the customer's dream. It's a
Yeah.
lot of times it's their design, their dream.
Yeah, and I relate to that because I was talking to Jay Palachuk this morning, and I was saying to him, I said I've come to realize that while I love the photographs, I love photography, and I love the images that I take, and I think they're pretty good. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm a storyteller. That's my job.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there's a ton of great photographers in trucks these days. I mean, some of the drivers, the pictures they post, they're mind blowing. They're
It's
amazing.
incredible. And the technology like that you carry in your pocket takes such an amazing picture that,
Yeah,
you know, you don't need to have the crazy camera gear that, you know, you and I use
yeah,
to take our pictures. But
yeah.
I'm kind of a techie nut personally. I like buying all that stuff. So,
Yes.
but I actually, funny story. Yesterday, a truck I was picking up for a customer. He's a friend of Jamie Grant's actually. So I was getting his truck, picking it up from Shift Products, and I suction cupped my GoPro to the front of the truck right on the headlight. And so I was trying to get a shot. I was pulling onto an off ramp, and then I stopped, and I was going to move the camera again and then do another shot. Well, I sat up to look where my camera was. I'm like, oh, where's my camera?
Oh
It's
no.
gone. And I ended up parking the truck. I walked a kilometer back down the highway, and there it was. It stayed together, but the lens busted off. But these GoPros are just incredible. Like they take a beating, and
Yeah.
it was still recording with no lens on it. I couldn't believe it.
It was still
So
going.
it was still going, and I pulled the video off. It'll be on my YouTube channel here in the next couple of weeks. I have to figure out how to edit it in there, but
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's pretty crazy. So yeah,
Wow.
lots of fun.
Cool. So as people watch your stuff, they get inspired and they want to talk potential, build of a truck. How do they get a hold of you?
The kenworthguy.com is where I kind of have all my information, all the links to get a hold of me. I made it pretty easy for people to reach out. You can click on the contact form and it drop down menus. If you want to build a truck, you can fill in whatever information you want and it'll send me an email and I'll get in touch with you. Or if you want to call me or email, all that stuff, just go to thekenworthguy.com.
Cool. I love it. Well, Andy,
Yeah.
thanks for taking your time on a Friday. Thanks for showing us
Yeah.
some of your work and being able to brag on some great people, whether it's Jamie or Dr. Hook or Impel. There we go, not Incel.
Impel.
That would not be a good brand name.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, inside trading. Yeah. No doubt.
Yes. So it's all good. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for what you do, and have yourself a great day.
Thanks to you too, and thanks for giving me the opportunity here. Appreciate it.
Hey, cool. Cheers.
All right. Have the world's best day.
Yeah, you too.